People, My Hero Academia, fam. I know a lot of people right now, after reading the latest chapter, chapter 285, are bugging out. People are going crazy. The streets is on fire. Motherfuckers is going nuts after what just went down with Bakugou. People, oh my gosh, I ain't gonna lie. This right here is gonna set it off. The fandom is going to get even crazier and more massive after what just happened. This war against Shigaraki and Deva throwing hands. But that ending though, that ending is going to be very, very pivotal moving forward, because to be honest with you, if it's not handled correctly, it could go a different way. Right now people are very, very hype. I am very just like, oh my gosh, glued to my phone waiting for that next chapter. But if things go a certain direction, I could see some backlash. So we got a lot to talk about with what just went down in this battle. Deku, Bakugou, Shigaraki, and Deva, Torodoki, so much insanity. And of course, the monster himself, the menace to society, all for one. What is his role going to be moving forward? Where does he stand with all this? Well, we know where he stands, but yeah, a lot to dissect. So without further ado, people, let's talk some of that My Hero Academia greatness. Say it ain't so, Horikoshi. Say it ain't so. You ain't gonna do that, fam. No, you're not gonna. You're just, you can't. You're not. I refuse to believe it. Let's talk.
I say we gonna do what we do, no matter how you move, make your move. That's how it be though.
So one of the most controversial My Hero Academia chapters of 2020, and probably a majority of the manga. I haven't seen people going this crazy, and I've seen people going crazy over this manga, but fam, this is a whole other level, a whole other monster and a beast in and of itself, because that ending. But before we get into the ending, we gotta talk about what went down and how we got there. So the chapter starts off with something that has been building from even, quite a few chapters now. Last chapter we saw a little more of it, the forewarnings and stuff like that between, the conversation of Bakugou and All Might talking about it. But it starts off with the reminder that when Deku was injured, and this was quite some time ago now, that he was warned, yo, 2 or 3 more times and your arms is gonna be unusable. It's over for you. That you keep on destroying. And of course that went back to when he started learning, okay, I can't just keep on using my arms, I have to use my legs. But in a battle like this, you don't know what to do. You gotta think Deku is juggling a lot. He's trying to save everybody, hold everybody, including Shigaraki, in the freaking air. On top of that, using 3 quirks, 2 of which he doesn't really have the greatest grasp of, one of which just popped out of not nowhere, because we got the training of him at Uraraka, so it makes a little bit more sense. It's not just completely like, whoa, how is he doing this? So he got all of that, and on top of that, he's trying to battle this monster that continues to regenerate. So yeah, he's going to be using his arms non-stop, not really thinking of, oh shit, let me use my legs. And it's showing, because the devastation to Deku's body, because it says he used 3 flyby hits. And by the way, oh my gosh, the art, like, yo, it sometimes really just boggles my mind how in a week the level of detail that this art be having. I'm just like, Horikoshi, you gotta respect them. Whether you have a problem with the My Hero Academia fandom, you got a problem with whatever, you cannot deny this man's ability and his talent to draw at this capacity in such a short amount of time, because some of these panels were just, oh my gosh, the art of Deku looking all destroyed and shit like that was insane. And then him battling against Shigaraki, and he was using like all the stops. I ain't gonna lie, he was like Wyoming smash, fucking Detroit smash, even threw in a little bit of St. Louis in there, which I look at it from a different perspective, and I'm not sure how many people are gonna get what I'm trying to say. But in terms of marketing, it is really genius if you want to make something pop in the US, to not only, of course, he could have just called it California smash, New York smash, and called it a day, right? But to kind of be looking at the Midwest of like, hey, well, this is going to make people in Wyoming go crazy, like, yeah, Wyoming and shit like that. So I look at it from that aspect as well, and I like to sometimes bring that to people's attention of like, marketing wise, that is genius, because a lot of people in Wyoming are going to be like, we never get any representation in anything. People look at us as like, we're in the middle of nowhere, who cares? Deku doing that shit, they're going to be like, I need to support Wyoming smash, fam. Likewise with St. Louis, like, yeah, Detroit is just on some next level shit. Like, that's what I want to see, Detroit, because we know how Detroit gets down. People don't play down there, so I love to see it. But again, if we get 3 flyby hits and Deku's destroying his arms yet again, it's only a matter of time, unless Deku really just becomes a Jack Diesel motherfucker after like a time skip or something. His arms can't handle it, and it's really interesting because All Might, yeah, he was brolic at some given point, right? Like you saw, which I think that's going to be something that Deku's going to have to figure out, how to get that brolic physique that All Might was capable of, because we know All Might in his natural state, he was just a scrawny guy, right? But then when he turns into his All Might form, or back when he used to be able to, he would have this brolic body, which is how his arms were able to sustain all that damage of using 100%. Deku is going to need to figure that out if he's not completely irreparable at this point, which, let's be honest here, Eddie is the Dragon Balls of all this shit, but we're gonna get to that because Eddie's gonna have a lot on her hands if she's able to eventually figure out how to use her quirk, because there's gonna be some damage that is like, something has to happen, or yeah, but we'll get into it. Either way, Deku is definitely destroying himself, which, if this is going to be like a climactic battle, possibly leading into a time skip, or, which I doubt it, but you know, the ending of My Hero Academia, then yeah, let's go out with a big bang and destroy Deku down to the brim. And just quickly going back to the smashes and shit like that, if he's using like these states and shit like that, depending on how far My Hero Academia goes and to what scale, what degree these fights go, I could see at some given point him going global smash or earth smash, and then eventually even universal smash. Like if we get to that Dragon Ball Beerus versus God Goku type of shit, I could see a universal smash which like is out of this world. But again, that's like way down the road, assuming like My Hero truly becomes like that next big Dragon Ball, which My Hero is already that next big. My Hero, don't mistake it, it is already that next Naruto. Like, you know, 5-6 years back we was like, hey, could this be the next Naruto in terms of having that space of being that popular mainstream shonen for the West? It is hands down that series, and I would love to get to that point where we're talking about like, yo, the global smash, oh my god, he's breaking earth and shit, universal smash. But yeah, that's down the road. And Shigaraki's recognizing like, yo fam, I need to beef up on my defense, like he's kicking my ass. And again, the two sides of the same coin, both of them having their different dreams of what they want to accomplish. Shigaraki's like, fam, you're destroying my dreams, leave my dreams alone. I'm like, they might be dark dreams, but it's his dreams. You know what they say, chase your dreams, right? Deku's response of like, this is what this quirk was made for. It's just like, it makes the fight feel that much more intense, because you know both sides are riding with their all with a certain objective, and it's not just like a you know, half-ass. Like Shigaraki cares just as much about his goal and his objective as Deku does of rescuing everyone. Like, it's serious. And then he even hits him with a Texas smash, so now that's 4. And I'm not sure, because you know, it's kind of like, wait a minute, when you know the doctor, because you know, first page it says about him using 2 or 3 more times of like destroying that arm, doesn't mean 2 or 3 more times of getting repaired, or 2 or 3 more times of busting it up to that irreparable state, because now that's 4 with Texas, St. Louis, Detroit, and Wyoming. That's a lot on those poor arms. Deku's arms right now are screaming, stop already, please. And Shiggy's getting desperate. He's searching for any quirk, like, yo, what can I do to stop this man from whipping my ass? Yes, my regenerative abilities is great and all, but he is fucking me up. And then the commentary, which Bakugou has really like, wow, you know, this arc has especially in particular, like we've seen throughout the series, little by little him growing and developing and changing and shit, but just getting the commentary from him throughout this fight, it's been surreal. It's been like a different person. Him saying like, yo, it's taking everything from Deku just to keep everything in the air. And like I mentioned earlier, he's doing a lot more than just keeping everything in the air. He's using multiple quirks, keeping everybody in the air, fighting this monster with everything he got, busting his arms up. Yes, Bakugou, that is right. And then Bakugou, yet again, development, like not even just on the character wise, look at the strategy and shit. He's like, okay, boom, Endeavor, don't use your flames. I'm gonna lift you up into the air. Todoroki, make sure you keep him cool so that he don't overheat. We're gonna do this. And Endeavor's like, oh, so one big blast and we're gonna take him out like that. Like, shout outs to Bakugou, not even just for what happens in the end and what he did. And again, we will get into that because that was just foo, but like the strategy, the compassion and empathy that he's obtained in the last few chapters that we're seeing of like a different side of him. And again, like him having, which is hilarious, and again might be a blow to Endeavor's ego because like, yo, you got this little kid giving you the strategy and the playbook of how we're gonna take this dude down. Like, insane. Poor Rocklock. Shoutouts to Rocklock, he's still a trooper, but like you even got Shoto saying, yo, you watch Sensei, make sure you take care of Aizawa and shit, and he's just all distraught there, like what the hell is going on? Like, of course these other MCs, like, you know, they're the new age My Hero Academia big three, like all of that jazz, but damn, like, yo, he's a pro hero. But I mean, hey, if the #1 hero is getting bossed around by Bakugou, Todoroki got to show stuff too, because it's definitely been more vital and pivotal with this arc for Bakugou and Deku. Like, Todoroki has had his moments, very small ones here or there, but it's clearly the shine is all for Deku and Bakugou. And Todoroki, I guess maybe as we move forward there could be something big for him, but he's been like the third wheel to a certain degree with all this. Yeah, he's there, yeah, he's helping out, but he's kind of playing assist opposed to being like that major character. But if anything else happens with Endeavor, then maybe that'll be his time to shine, or if Dabi shows up or something along the lines of that. Then getting the flashback of Bakugou with All Might, which again, that's been a key point to all of this, and him saying like, oh, that's the originator that created One for All, right? And he has multiple quirks and shit like that. So there's something, even after all this that we're getting, there's still something underneath it all, and who knows, because again, the tides keep twisting and turning. One minute Shigaraki's up, next minute the heroes are up, and if he gets up one more time, I could see a possibility, which will be insane, and Deku's not prepared for it, but that one quirk that was already foreshadowed, which I do think is going to be shown in this battle, just my opinion, because everything ain't over yet, but that one quirk that they were talking about, that All Might was like, I'm not certain about it, I didn't want to raise worries regarding that if I don't know everything or whatever, but I do think that that's going to be a pivotal factor, whether it's something that Deku loses complete control of himself and becomes like an absolute monster, starts losing some of his humanity and empathy, maybe it's a demonic quirk or some shit like that. Whatever the case may be, I do think that that's going to show up pretty soon, because it was even referred to like, you know, it's a cursed quirk, essentially, One for All, and I think that that fourth quirk is what's going to be very important moving forward into this big ass battle against Shiggy. And if you think about it, because again, we get like the flashback of when Bakugou and them were younger, seeing All Might saving somebody. If you really think closely, One for All, you could argue, is a cursed power, is a curse in a sense, because look what happened. Every one of the holders of it died in one way or another, right? I don't think any of them died at old age. I think they all were murdered in combat. Look at All Might, what he turned out. He's all messed up and shit like that. And look at Deku destroying his body, going back to even the first one, and the terrible fate that he had. There's something like, there's always a yin and a yang with everything, right? There's a give and a take in order to balance things out. So whatever it is, like, you could argue that One for All, it isn't all this glorious thing. There might be some drawbacks to it, and a bad as well. Like, if we're really looking at it, like, you know, just dialing out from the scope, if we're zoomed in, let's just dial back for a little bit, there could be some good in a sense to what All for One is trying to do in terms of getting rid of One for All. Like, obviously he's an evil dude, terrible stuff, all of that jazz, but what if there's something bad within One for All that is part of the reason why All for One wants to take it out? Just saying, or wants to take it for himself because he's an evil bastard. And then we even get that awesome looking panel of Deku saying, I'm Deku who always does his best, which is, you know, you could argue is a little cringy or corny or whatever, but he's a hero. That's the whole point, him becoming a hero and showing out like on a massive scale. So yeah, that's more like an All Might-ish type of thing. And you know, with All Might, it never really felt cringy. It just felt like, oh, he's a classic hero. That's what Deku is on the path to becoming. And we get the awesomeness of the #1 hero. Endeavor jumps into the battle, grabs Shigaraki and uses Prominence Burn, trying to cook this dude up and finish it off. And again, at the very least, I'm glad that, you know, him being the #1 hero, he is having a major hand in all this, because it really would be kind of corny and a slight to him if like he had nothing to do other than just standing around watching. Like, that would really give him a severe Vegeta complex of how many times Vegeta had to just stand around and watch Goku handle everything at the end of the day. So yeah, that would make Endeavor feel even worse, because it's not like Endeavor has to stand back and watch All Might do things. He's standing back and watching these children do things. So him jumping in and trying to do what he can in order to stop Shigaraki with that Prominence Burn, with the whole strategy that Bakugou put together, like, good move. It's just crazy that, yo, it wasn't happening today, fam. This wasn't your moment, it's their moment. Because then we get what seemingly is All for One. Because that's, I'm imagining that has to be him. It all adds up if you think about it. That says, Shigaraki, Tomura, lend me your body. And I think Endeavor got like punched in the face or some shit like that, and he's like, yo, how the fuck you're still alive? What's going on? And it seems as though All For One is controlling Shigaraki's body and running wild, and he looks like all burnt up, and I'm curious, like, him having control of the body, like, can he actually manifest himself completely there? Is this like a psychic link from wherever All For One is, you know, held in the prison and shit like that? Like, can All For One just completely take over and use Tomura and become Tomura essentially, or is this just a temporary thing? Because, you know, Tomura doesn't really rock with that either. Like, I'm me, cool for being my sensei and all that shit, but I'm me and I'm trying to do things my way, and I don't think he'd like that, to be honest with you. I think that'll piss him off. And then he even says little brother, which I'm imagining he's referring to Deku, because Deku has the One For All quirk, which was originated from his little brother, so, you know, all of that is still in his mind and whatnot. And then that tragic, epic moment. That was just like, yo, when you see that panel of Bakugou's face, that epic, awesome panel and shit like that, the drawing and all, I'm just like, oh boy, what's about to happen? Horikoshi, what are you doing? And then it says, at that moment there were no thoughts in my head, my body just moved on its own, and Bakugou jumps in front of Deku before All For One, seemingly All For One, Shigaraki, whatever the heck you want to call him at that moment, gets pierced. Bakugou gets pierced by the attack, and end of chapter with this insane cliffhanger of a chapter. Oh my gosh. Now, there's a lot of possibilities. First of all, there's the possibility there that is, to be honest with you, I just gotta keep it real. I've been reading too much shonen manga for too long to just completely blindly say, oh shit, he's dead. Like, more than likely he's not going to be dead, but something even worse than death for somebody that strives to be a hero could be that All For One, what does he do? What did he do to one of those pussycat superheroes? Steals quirks. And what was he trying to do? Steal Deku's quirk, or One For All. So there's a big possibility that Bakugou could be walking around like Medio without powers moving forward. Again, it could just be that he didn't do it and he just strikes and he survives the wound or whatever, but it would be even more catastrophic. Bakugou having to move forward, still trying to be a hero without his powers. Bakugou, he's not like Medio, where Medio, I felt as though him running around without powers, he was athletic enough, smart enough, old enough to be able to still maneuver and be kind of like a Batman-esque type of hero. Bakugou, like, yeah, we're seeing that he has more strategy now, he's getting a little more aware and shit like that, but it's gonna destroy him if he doesn't have a quirk moving forward, or if he dies, which again, I don't think he will. Like, it didn't even look like he hit like vitals, maybe that's just me or whatever, but either way, that was an insane freaking way to end the chapter, and the stakes is so high. Like, this is hands down the biggest battle of this series. Like, I know people will come and say, no, but Stain, no, this right here, fam, right now. And yeah, a lot to digest after this chapter. So for starters, as of right now, we don't know how long this could last. All For One has control of Shigaraki. Again, how long will that be? What is that going to become of? How is Shigaraki going to react to that? Because again, I don't think he's going to like that per se. I don't think so. Bakugou, is he going to be dead? Is he going to be quirkless? Like, where are we going with this? Like, again, the death thing, I'm going to take it off the table unless My Hero Academia is ending within 5 or 10 chapters, no time skip, no nothing, then maybe. But otherwise, more than likely, the best case scenario, or worst case scenario, shall I say, for Bakugou is being quirkless and having to learn how to be a superhero without superpowers until eventually Eddie gets a handle of being able to rewind people without hurting them, which I think that'll come in due time. And I'm curious what you guys thought about this chapter. How do you feel right now? Like, yo, the end of this chapter, Bakugou getting pierced by All For One, who is inhabiting Shigaraki's body. How do you feel about Endeavor kind of not being able to deliver that final blow? What do you think about the curse thing regarding One For All? What I was talking about, them referring to it as a curse power, and thinking back to all the users of One For All, you know, Bakugou's character development. Like, where do you see all of this going moving forward in the manga? Like, I am just, yeah, My Hero Academia, this arc, in my opinion, there's no questions asked. This is the best arc of the series. Like, the stakes is so freaking high, everything that's happening, I don't even freaking know. I'm still like, ah! And your overall thoughts and expectations moving forward with My Hero Academia chapter 286 and beyond. I'm so glad there's no break, because if there was a break, I would have broke something, alright? Like, don't put me on break right now, Horikoshi. We need that next chapter ASAP. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and yo, Bakugou, Horikoshi, what are you doing to us right now? This is Stay calm. It's gonna be okay. Have an awesome day, people.
It's nights like this, and time